So the project that we're working on here is actually part of is one iteration of a bigger project called To the King, which was an installation that I had, it was 2014. And that installation consisted of a stop frame animation projection and a sculpture, which were in relation to each other. The stop frame animation was to the same scale as the painting Las Meninas and referenced Las Meninas in some ways. Las Meninas is a painting by Velázquez made in 1656. You can see it, and you can see the painting over here, except that it's flipped over. Okay. I worked quite closely with the painting Las Meninas and the text Las Meninas, which was by Foucault. So those two, text and image, were the starting point for my installation. But it was very specifically located in the Eastern Cape, South Africa. Like a post-colonial interpretation of Las Meninas, set in this very different setting from the Spanish court of Philip IV. The painting is very much, takes place in the court, the Spanish court. There's a young girl who looks out at the audience, and behind her is a mirror with a reflection of her parents, the king and queen. And there's this kind of play of gazes within the painting. But what's very revolutionary about it, there's also a play of gazes with the viewer who's viewing the painting. The painter, Velázquez, also looks out at the viewer. You don't know quite what he's painting on his canvas. It's really interesting plays between the gaze, the viewer. But what was particularly important for me in reading Foucault's essay was how he kind of introduces the idea of power. The king literally controlling how things are seen and who sees what.
As an independent artist is already very tactile, very material orientated, very sensitive to placement on paper. So if you very neatly put these two pages in the center of a page, you are announcing it as being very sure of itself, very well anchored. But the moment when you break them apart and let them fall off the edges of the Fabriano paper, then you're starting to read it as being unsettled.